Time now to let you guys hear from BYU football head coach Kalani Sitake. I had a chance to talk with him one-on-one at BYU's annual media golf tournament, a great opportunity to interact with players and coaches, but none bigger than the BYU headman himself. Kalani is one of those people that I always enjoy talking to because he always likes to say it how it is, but also at the same time, he makes it easy on us as media. So it's really fun to talk with him. We had a great chat, talked a lot about in-depth on his position groups going into training camp, what he expects, what his expectations are for BYU in the Big 12 this season, and a whole lot more. So without further ado, here's that conversation with myself and BYU football head coach Kalani Sitake.
Now, you mentioned the fact that your freshman year was 30 years ago. It's the 100th year of BYU history. How cool is that you've been associated with this university as long as you have?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I've been associated with it since I was born as a fan. So it's been, the fact that we're at the 100th season, it's pretty cool, to be part of it. And I'm the head coach right now. It's a dream come true, man. So, for me, it's like trying to do my best to keep doing right by everyone, especially by the fans.
What is your confidence level you guys will figure out a quarterback early on in training camp and get them established?
Yeah, I'm really not nervous about the quarterback competition. It'll sort itself out. And what I do like is that we have a number of quarterbacks that can play, not just one or two. So I know a lot of the attention goes to Gerry and to Jake, but we have a lot of other guys that can play and that are capable. I mean, we went and got McKay, and we have Trayson. So there's a good number of guys that have experience. And it's not just that they can play; they've actually done it in a college game now. And so all four of those quarterbacks have actually played in the game in the college level, and so that will work better for us having that experience behind it.
What was the rationale in bringing McKay in?
Well, I think in the beginning I really liked his game. I've known him since he's been in middle school, and so try not to be too overly biased as a coach. I really liked him. I like his game. I thought overall he throws a wonderful ball, but he has a great knowledge of the game. And when the opportunity came and he was in the portal, we were given a second chance to do it, and I'm glad A-Rod saw that and was able to work and recruit him, and it's worked out really well. He's doing a fantastic job.
We talked with A-Rod at the end of spring ball, and he talked about the fact that you guys want to get back to being more of a run emphasis, and just being a physical run team. How confident are you guys you accomplished that?
Well, it starts up front, and TJ Woods is going to get that for us. It helps that you have guys that have played in games, like Connor Pay and Caleb Etienne and Waylon Lapuaho and Braden Kime. Those four have played in games and started. And so I think the experience is going to be key there, but the leadership that I'm seeing from Connor Pay and the other guys in the O-line, it just doesn't stop at the O-line. It's extending to the other positions, and not just on the offense, on the other side of the ball, too, on the defense and special teams. So really when the big boys talk, people listen, especially on the team. And I like that TJ has empowered these young men to get the rest of the team going. And I feel really good about where we're at right now and what I saw during spring. And then we've added some really cool pieces to give us some depth to competition.
The running back position, it seems like it's LJ, and then you also have guys like Miles. Did you guys opt purposely not to bring in a running back? What was the whole thought process?
Well, we also have Folau.
So Folau.
Having Rapati back, and I think, he's a seasoned guy, has played a lot of games and made big plays for us. So having Folau, Hinkley, so people don't get confused, and Miles and LJ, that's a good nucleus of guys that have played. And then you add some. I think we've had the pieces that are right there with it. Sione Moa is doing good. Enoch Nawahine is a really good player too, and then Pokai Honga is going to do some good things. So it's a good group. We didn't feel like we needed to go and grab somebody out of the portal because the guys that we're developing right here are going to be just fine.
The receiver core is pretty deep. You're going to have all those guys back. What's your confidence level in them and the tight ends?
Yeah, I like the receiver group. Man, I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching them. I think the key would be getting them the ball. And so the quarterback that's going to be able to do that most consistently at a high level and be with accuracy is going to be key. But I don't need just one quarterback. I need them all to do it. So, but they're such great leaders for us. They're a big part of the offense running. But it all starts with the O-line creating space and for us to keep teams on their heels when we're we should be able to run the ball, throw the ball, and get points on the board. And that's going to be. I'm looking forward to our offense being back to what we're used to.
Year 2 with Jay Hill. Does it feel like he's settled in? Has anything changed at all?
Yeah, the defense is not an easy one to grasp. So pretty complicated, and you got to just work in the system. I think we've had like bits and parts of it in the last 8 years, and the last 7 years, and last year just kind of going completely into it. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do when you're shifting that much into it. But the second year and actually spring ball, I was really excited when I saw that it started to really take shape, and we knew that was going to be. We had to lay the foundation at some point, but I think we can start building some really cool things and adding some parts, and the guys being their second year is going to be the familiarity with it, being able to know when you can freelance, when you can work the system instead of in the year 1 you're just trying to do what's right and what's actually required of you. Now our guys are able to do some other things, and that usually turns into playmaking ability.
And talking with guys, a lot of the defensive linemen pointed to the fact that they had to kind of learn a whole new, thought process with that. Do you feel like they've come along where they'll be able to hold up better against the run?
Yeah, and it's the knowing the entire what your role is.
Sure.
And why it matters. And so Jay's done a great job educating the guys in there. We have some seasoned guys and guys that have a lot of experience in football games, but the second year in this defense is going to be helpful for them, I promise. I mean, it's going to happen. We saw it in spring. I think Jay, you can see him, you can talk to him. He's really confident, and I share the same confidence that he has.
But you've brought in guys like Gerry and Chad Kay to help out with that. How big have their roles been in helping essentially just establish what they need to do out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you don't have anything that goes. Sometimes there's certain things that you don't see. Now we're able to see it all. That's why having Chad and Gerry involved is key. I mean, Chad's a lot more involved in the front, but he's coached at a lot of different places and P5 level, and then he's also had experiences with myself, Dave Aranda, and so looking at what the expertise that he brings is awesome. Gary is trying not to get in the way, but he's like, we all speak the same language, we all work the same system, and it just made a lot of sense for him to come and help us out, and that way all the details are getting taken care of. And that's I think when we were installing the new system, sometimes the folks on the details weren't done well enough, and now we're getting a lot of that.
Jack Kelly took a lot of the headlines in spring ball, but I don't think people can discount what Ben Bywater brings back as he comes back as well. What do you expect from that linebacking core?
Well, I mean, I think more than anything, Ben's leadership is awesome. So even when he wasn't on the field and he was injured last year, it was important that he was able to do things by helping Harrison come along, helping Ace Kafusi and all the other guys in that group, Ciale and Isaiah. That group is really, really deep and with tons of talent. So having Ben be the leader of them is important for us. But Jack has actually come in and done a great job being a leader as well. We have a lot of playmakers. It's just getting them in the right position so that they can just go and make those plays, and then defensively just winning a lot more first and second down so we can create some havoc on third.
Jay might be the only coach that could probably go 7, 8, 9, 10 guys at safety deep and still continue to get production out of it.
Yeah.
How impressive was that, and how are you expecting the back end to be better this year?
The defensive backfield is his expertise. I've been around and coached a lot of different places with a lot of different people, and Jay Hill is one of the best I've ever been around. So it's not just limited to the safeties. He knows the corner position. He knows the nickel position, and he can put all of that together. And so I don't have any concerns with him in the back end. And then you combine that with Janelle Guilford, who's one of the best technicians I've ever been around, and we should have some great production. So the key is you can't make these. You got to get to the quarterback. Don't make these guys have to cover too long. But if they need to, they can do it. They've proven that. It's more about us trying to impose our will on teams, and we got to get that done. So it obviously wasn't good enough last year, and we know that. But we have addressed a lot of the deficiencies, and I'm excited to see what a lot of people don't know. We already know it's going to happen.
What is your confidence level in this team right now? Because there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of naysayers, for lack of a better term, out there. But what is your confidence level in your team?
I feel great about this team. The naysayers are the ones that don't know. They don't know all the parts that are coming in. They don't know the development of our players and even our returning players, our veterans. So we see it. And when you don't know, it's easy just to not to vote for somebody. So I get it. And so it's just we have a different perspective because we've seen it. And I feel really good about this second year going to Big 12.
You're coming up on a decade as BYU's head coach. Do you feel like you've settled in at this point? Like, what's your feeling looking at your past, but also looking at the future now?
I can't believe it's been that many years. You know, going to year 9. I'm having so much fun. I love it. I'm getting older. That's the only thing. But this is a lot of fun. I mean, this is something that I enjoy. I hate saying that it's work because I love this life. You know, so being involved with football, with the people, the fans, all of it, I just absolutely enjoy. And so it's been a dream come true. I'm going to keep rolling with it as long as I can.
Last thing for me is, as you look forward to the season, what's been the biggest difference from the independent era to the Big 12 era now that you've got a year of experience underneath your belt?
Well, just access and then the ability to get to certain players, recruits, things like that. I mean, there's a curiosity out there about us, and so it's brought more eyes. And now that it's kind of like the excuses that people used to always use against us in recruiting is that, oh, well, they're not in a power conference. Well, now we are in a power conference. And then now the excuses are from our opponents, oh, they've only been in the power conference for 1 year. So it's like, people are always going to have things to say. I love the ways that we're trending. Obviously, we know the deficiencies, the areas of improvement that we need to make. We're addressing them, and we'll all find out in August.
There you have it. BYU football coach Kalani Sitake. Big thank you to him as always. He's so generous with his time. And any of you who have had a chance to talk with him out there in Cougar Nation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a guy who likes to spend as much time as possible interacting with the fans, media, and really anybody. He is absolutely a people person, and here's hoping that everything he expects from his program in year 2 of the Big 12 will come to fruition. And obviously, we're not that far off. Next week, we begin BYU training camp, and we'll have full coverage every single day. You know how we do right here on the Locked On Cougars podcast.